slide 3, and we're talking about characteristics of descriptive writing. So number 3 says descriptive writing blank. It uses action verbs and precise details. So what I think about when I think of a really descriptive way of describing an action, if you've ever been roller skating, raise your hand. Probably everybody in here, right? Okay, so you know how sometimes like you don't want to look because it's rude to look, but you can't not look because it's so funny and you can't take your eyes off of it? Have you ever seen somebody that really loves to roller skate but they're really not that great at it yet? And so they kind of start tripping and sliding and slipping and they start to fall, and it takes them like 10 minutes to actually fall down. It takes them like the whole straight side of the skate rink before they actually crash and hit the ground. And you can't not watch because it's so funny to look at, but it's so rude and you're trying to look away. But if you had to go home and describe watching that person fall for 10 minutes before they ever hit the ground, think about all the descriptive words you would use to describe an action, the action of them falling. If you just came home and said, I saw this person fall at the skating rink, that wouldn't really be funny, right? But if you just start talking about what they looked like when they fell and how it sounded, all the clink and the clank of their rollers on the bottom of their skates, and you started describing all that stuff, it would be a lot more easy for the person you're telling to actually see that picture in their mind of somebody flailing around like this as they fall down. You know what I'm talking about because you've all seen it, right? Okay. So you have to use expressive language or actions when you're just writing a descriptive writing. So we're going to say it expresses actions. You can even say details again. So the example it gives us is this. Slight sounds of a snoring radiate with each exhale from the old dog asleep on the plush gray carpet. So do you know what plush means? Really thick and cushiony. So can't you see some big, thick, gray, cushiony carpet, and this old dog is stretched out asleep? And every time he exhaled, you hear this little rumble of a snore coming out of his nose. His action is snoring, right? But if you just said the dog snoring on the porch, that wouldn't be near as interesting, and you couldn't get as good a picture in your mind as if you said, slight sounds of snoring radiate with each exhale from that old dog asleep on the plush gray carpet. Okay, so let's look at number 4. Number 4 says, descriptive writing includes blank, such as hyperbole, simile, metaphor, personification to paint a picture in the reader's mind. We just said it on the last slide. It's what? All those terms together, we call them, yes, figurative language. And figurative language is made up of hyperbole, similes, metaphors, personification to paint a picture. Listen to this example. The waves crashed and danced along the shore. Can a wave dance? Who dances? Humans do, right? So they took a human characteristic and they applied it to an inanimate object. Well, a wave is kind of alive, right? Water is alive and moving, but waves can't really dance. But we get a picture in our mind of what that might look like. So at the bottom of this page is the writing process. And I know you know the writing process because you had a quiz on it last week and you've been doing the writing process for a while. So the writing process, what is the first step? It's before you write your sentences, it's messy, it's all over. Yes, I heard lots of hands raised. Brainstorming, and we also call it something else. Before we write, we pre-write. I like brainstorm because I told you for me it's like a big tornado of thoughts and ideas and words and images. It's like a tornado drops down all this stuff on my paper for me to think about. So after you get your ideas down and organized, then you actually put your sentences together, and that's called what? Drafting. Very good. Correct. Now sometimes 3 and 4 can get mixed up because they're very similar, but let me help you see how the difference is. So number 3, does anybody know 3 right off the top of their head? You got your sentences, now what? Did you want to answer? Yes.
Revising.
Yes, revising. So the difference in revising, who knows what number 4 is? Look right here. Who knows what number 4 is? Edit. Let's look at the difference between edit and revising. So if you edit, you're really looking like at the technical things. Did I capitalize my, everything that needed to be capitalized? Did I put punctuation? Those technical issues. Did I use my words correctly? Revising is more like rearranging things. Rearranging. And they both start with an R, so that helps me keep them separated. So revising might be like you got it written down, but then you decide to go back and use the word enormous instead of large. Or you take a sentence that's at the bottom and you think, oh, that'd be much better up here in the middle. You move it and rearrange it around. That's revising, but you're really not checking for spelling or punctuation or capitalization, any of that yet. But when you edit, you're actually going to edit with cups. Do you remember cups? Capitalization, usage, punctuation, and spelling. And you have to do all that. That's the last step before you can go buy it at Books A Million or share it with your friends. And what do we call that step?
Publish.
Yes, publish. You people are writing geniuses. So publish is the last step. And the third slide is the last slide we're doing for the day. So good. If you didn't get it all down, I will post pictures. See ya. I'll post